Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya. Ashtaprayasva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanandana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Canto 4, Chapter 8, Verse 70. Maitreya Uvacha. Iti Devarshina Proktam Vishrutya Jagatipatihi Rajalakshmi Manadritya Putram Evan Vachintayat. The great Maitreya continued, the king Uttanapada, after being advised by Narada Muni, practically gave up all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruva. Tatrabhishikta prayatas tamuposhya vibhavarim samahita paryacharad rishyadeshena purusham. Elsewhere, Dhruva Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvana, took his bath in the river Yamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narada, he engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The significance of this particular verse is that Dhruva Maharaj acted exactly according to the advice of his spiritual master, the great sage Narada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also advises that if we want to be successful in our attempt to go back to Godhead, we must very seriously act according to the instruction of the spiritual master. That is the way of perfection. There need be no anxiety over attaining perfection if one follows the instruction given by the spiritual master. Because if one follows the instruction given by the spiritual master, he is sure to attain perfection. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is expert in giving special instructions to each of his disciples. And if the disciple executes the order of the spiritual master, that is the way of his perfection. Very clear. How to achieve perfection. We don't have to think of multiple things. Just simply Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado. Just exactly, look at these words. Exactly, accordingly, very seriously. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of the spiritual master. Okay, what do we understand? What should we do? Let's discuss this. All of you share your thoughts. What should we do? What is the advice being given here? What should we do? How should we do? Practical, impractical, etc., etc., etc. Let everything come. Right? Because if we can understand and internalize this verse, then we will achieve perfection. So what should we do? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So, I mean, irrespective, whatever Guru is going to say, we may have to blindly follow with complete faith.
Okay.
So, that's one important aspect. So, I mean, that is one of the takeaways.
Okay. What else? Give sequence of things we have to do. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Shashank.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dhanavad Pranam. So first thing is whatever Guru says, we should not think why he said like that. Second, whatever Guru instruction, how it can be done. We should not think why, how, what is the reason behind he is saying like that. So three things, whatever the instruction given by Guru, why, how, and what is that instruction, what will happen to me if I follow that, like future forecast. So we should not do like that. Simply like we should, whatever Guru says, we should accept it.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Bhakti Vinod Maharaj says, like, you should surrender and serve like a sold animal, not even as a slave, because the slave can do, you can do mutiny, but as a you should surrender like a sold animal, no questions asked, no
Okay.
no. Bhakti Maharaj often repeats this line.
Okay. Okay. What else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
If we please Krishna, we have to please Radharani. To please Radharani, we have to please our Guru.
Yeah.
So we have to surrender to our Guru.
Okay.
So we have to follow what he will tell. We have to follow.
Okay. Okay. What else? What is the first step?
Yes,
This
sir.
whole thing.
Prasado, Bhagat Prasado, yes, sir. Prasado, Gati Kutobi.
Yes, Prabhu. What
Simple.
is the first step? What is the first step in this whole process?
Obedience,
Okay.
respect and obedience should be the first.
Okay. Okay. See this same topic a zillion times I've repeated, right? So first thing is that we have to do Shravanam. Nothing can happen without Shravanam. Now here, of course, see, Prabhupada is saying that spiritual master is expert in giving special instructions to each of his disciples. No, yeah, there are special instructions and then there are general instructions. But the first question to ask is, where are these instructions? How do we get these instructions? So, let me ask you first question. Who is all our preeminent Shiksha Guru in ISKCON?
Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada. Now, how is Srila Prabhupada giving us his instructions?
Through his books, all the Shastras, all the purports written
his
by
books.
Srila Prabhupada.
Through his books, right? Prabhupada said, if you want to understand me, read my books. Now, what is our duty? For achieving perfection, what should we do?
You should read Srila Prabhupada.
We should read Srila Prabhupada's books and then we should go and do what? Read and do what?
Follow them, implement
Follow.
them in our life.
Follow them. So the first thing we have to do towards perfection, if at all we want to think about perfection, is first thing is to read Srila Prabhupada's books. Make a note of all instructions. There are thousands of instructions in Prabhupada's books. And try to follow them. Now, when we say this, people will say, no, this is not practical. How can we, try to follow so many instructions? Then, yeah, we don't have to go back to Godhead. We can remain here. See, the whole idea Prabhupada gave his books was to actually change our lives. So this is number one. This is the first step for every devotee, right? Who is any remotely serious about going back to Godhead. He needs to read Srila Prabhupada's books. He needs to have a clear understanding of all the instructions that Prabhupada is giving. And he has to try to sincerely follow them. Now, what will happen in amongst the instructions that Prabhupada has given, some we will be able to follow, some is maybe too far-fetched for us at this stage in our bhakti. It's not an issue, because when Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada to go and preach in the West, he took many years of preparation before he actually executed, but he never ignored it, or he didn't put it aside. He was just working on it for maybe many years, right, before he could actually execute it. So it doesn't mean that every instruction we will be able to execute it immediately, but we should keep contemplating, we should keep trying, we should keep planning, and some point of time we should execute. So this is the first part. Now the second part is, obviously we have Shiksha Guru and we have Diksha Guru. So before being accepted as a disciple by a spiritual master, we have to hear from the spiritual master, because the instructions that the spiritual master is giving, there will be more special instructions, specific instructions. Now Prabhupada has given general instructions to all. Then each guru will give specific instructions. Now how will the guru give specific instructions? Through his writing, if there are writings, or through his vani, through his lectures, conversations, etc. The first thing is one has to hear. Now when somebody, how do we actually hear? What is the process of hearing from a guru? Is that when we are hearing, we have to, just like when we are reading Prabhupada's purports, we are thinking that Prabhupada is actually directly telling me these instructions. Similarly, when we are hearing from Guru, even though it might be a general class, our approach should be that we should be thinking, oh, Guru is telling me, giving me these instructions. Many times I've seen devotees, they hear class and then they say, oh, Maharaj said something, oh, it's not for me. Why? How did we decide that it's not for us? Just because maybe it's not easy for us to follow, we just discount it off by saying that it's not for me. At any point of time, we hear any instructions coming from the Guru. It doesn't have to be that the Guru should be, that we should be sitting physically in front of the Guru and Guru is actually taking our name and telling us, saying that you have to do this. No. Instructions come in various ways. Right? So once we hear this instruction, then that's it. We have to now figure out how to do it. Now it all depends on the sincerity and seriousness of the disciple. Because who is standing behind us, controlling us or monitoring us, saying that, hey, today you heard this lecture, or even to take one step back, saying, hey, you have not been hearing at all from your Guru first. Who's going to tell us? Nobody is like tracking many of our sadhanas on a daily basis. No, nobody. I mean, yeah, all of us want to remain independent. So who's going to tell us, right? So unless we are serious and sincere about this business, we will give 150 reasons why we are not hearing. Number one. Number two, even after hearing, we will say, oh, no. For this reason, I can't do this. For that reason, I can't. Again, innovative ways of escaping. Actually, that is why Prabhupada is saying here, our only concern, normally our devotees, they think our only concern should be how to escape the order of the spiritual master, how to escape. We can replace this execute by how to escape the order. Meaning, how can we intelligently give reasons so that I don't have to do this service? But Prabhupada is saying that should not be our only concern. Our only concern should be how to execute the order. That is why, again, these same words I'll be repeating. No new, nothing new. Right? Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. So at the time of initiation, we have to give ourselves up to the Guru. Give ourselves up to the Guru, meaning give up what should we give up? Should we give up independence or should we give up intelligence? What should we give up at the time of initiation?
Independence.
Yes, we have to give up independence. Independence means independently me deciding or thinking, independently, independent of the order, independent of the instruction of spiritual master, or ignoring the instruction of spiritual master. That has to be given up, and then intelligence has to be used to figure out how to execute the order. This has to be done irrespective whether that instruction is directly face-to-face, one-on-one, or is a general instruction in a class. Of course, sometimes you also have to understand Guru certain times gives some specific instructions to certain disciples that we should not take out of context. We should not take it out of context. Guru is very, very expert, right? Here, Prabhupada saying, spiritual master is expert. He knows exactly what is required for a particular disciple. So sometimes he might go against his own general instructions for a specific disciple or for some based on certain situations. Now we should not generalize it. This is another wrong thing that we end up doing mostly. We see Guru doing something in a particular scenario, then we just extrapolate it, saying that no, now this is true for everybody in all scenarios. No. These will be some specific instructions, special instructions for certain disciples for whatever reasons. Right? So instead of trying to be very creative to escape, we have to just be worried, concerned only about how to execute the order. And this is the process of perfection. Right? I'm repeating, hearing Srila Prabhupada's, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, trying to follow his instructions sincerely, seriously. Second, hearing from Guru, from whom one is expected to be initiated. As we hear, these are general instructions applicable to all. And then there might be some certain specific, in certain cases, maybe certain project somebody is taking up, or, Guru might single out some disciples for some services, etc. And if suppose say general instructions cannot be followed by us for some reason, it is the duty of the disciple to actually approach the Guru and ask him for what needs to be done. As you said this in the lecture, I'm not able to follow it for whatever reason. Is there anything else that I can do? What else? How? Etc. Right? And not just ignoring. So if we can just meditate on this purport, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines can take us back to Godhead. Just these 7. Even if you don't read the rest of Bhagavatam, just these 7 lines this is the path to perfection. Okay, any devotees have any questions, concerns, or how to do, what to do, practicality, etc. Anything you have, because if we can get this right, like Prabhupada himself is clearly saying, that's it. Sure, he's sure to attain perfection. Yeah. So what is it that we think can come as a hindrance, can become an obstacle in us following this paragraph? Right. The only thing I can think of is that our unwillingness to follow, our free will, our independence that we want to retain. Right. So yeah, but I want all of you to think, what is it that you think can come in our way of following this paragraph? Such a crystal clear instruction Prabhupada is given. There is no mincing words, there is no confusion, there's nothing. Can't be more straightforward than this. But I don't see all devotees actually trying to do this. So I want to understand, what is our challenge? What is our challenge? Why can't we just follow this? Why can't we follow this? Any thoughts, anybody? Or do you think it can be followed?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
We all understand, but when it comes to executing it, we have ifs and buts, and that's hope.
No, that's what I want to understand. I want to understand why.
Yeah, but the material, you want to lord over material, this thing, the self.
No, but why we want that?
Prabhu, like say, I tell you something. I find like you have a sting in you. You have that, you have that कि भी हाँ करना है. Now when we in material world also, when we burn the midnight oil to gain something, to want something, वो तीव्रता जब तक नहीं आएगी ना प्रभु जी, जब तक you will always find an escape route. That
which is true.
that hook that you have to do it. So, even in adverse conditions, so many times we do things when we want to, no Prabhu, like in material world, ye karna hai, we go ahead and do it. So I see that in you. I see it, no Prabhu. Like now, I mean, it wouldn't have been easy to give up, to be so renunciated. But then you have a higher taste, and we lack that. I lack that. How to put it across, Prabhu? हम पता होता है, and we want to close our eyes.
No, but I understand, Mataji. Actually, I'm okay. Let me rephrase my question. Right? How serious or how important is going back to Krishna in our life? Basically, that's the bottom line, right? The whole point is that now even what Sumandra Mataji is saying, for example, okay, we are not so serious about this because we have some material attachments, etc. But where is our mind? Where are we today? Where are we today with respect to our spiritual life? And what is it that we are actually aiming to do? What is it that we are aiming to achieve? Is there anything at all? Is there a goal at all in front of us? If not, why?
Prabhuji, the priority is not the attachment to family life, friends, material sensory gratification. That hasn't moved. फिर वो मेरा मुंह नहीं निकला हुआ. The priority, we all want to go back to Godhead, but it's not like buying a 3 rupees ticket and seeing a cinema. That's exactly how we want it. I mean, we don't want to put that extra. Just have हमेशा क्लास में बोलता है that effort. Come out of your comfort zone. Come out of your comfort zone. Unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed.
Mataji. But what is there in this material world?
Yeah, Prabhu, itna ही है. युग का birth after birth, we are, and I mean, only somebody who can renunciate and get out of it.
No, renunciate. I'll tell you. See, 3 days. I'm just telling. Like in just last 3 days. In my house, my wife fell sick. Okay, then there was one yatra. We had all devotees had planned to go to Melkote. Then literally, I almost had to skip it because all my family support, my sister, my aunt, etc. Everybody has gone to Australia because it's my brother's daughter's wedding. We couldn't go for some reason, and then my mother is here. She's not well. Shraddha is not well. And then I was thinking, and I want to go to Melkote. And then, just saying that what is it? I mean, it's just, if I see left, there is obstacle. If I see right, there's an obstacle. It's just obstacle. There's nothing else that I'm seeing in material life, right? Then my own body has become an obstacle, right? So then I see, okay, whether I have a higher taste, I don't know if I have a higher taste, but I just lost taste for this lower taste because it just doesn't seem to be giving me any, it doesn't seem to be the source of any kind of happiness for me, right? It just seems like any direction I see, it's just obstacle. It just wastes my energy in some wrong direction, which is not going to give me anything. So then, I keep thinking, saying that, what is this? I mean, like already we have so little time. And even in the middle of that, we are distracted by so-called duties and this and that and all that. And what about, sense gratification? What is it going to give me? I mean, why am I suffering today? I'm suffering today because I did some nonsense sense gratification in my previous life, right? I hurt somebody. I did something nonsense, right? I'm struggling. I'm suffering. And then what more am I going to get by continuing to pursue sense gratification? Isn't it the same thing that I'm going to get again in a future life? Yeah, we have some hopes of happiness. Yeah, that hopes of happiness is such a, what is it called? Phantasmagoria, like Prabhupada says, right? It's just like some illusion because we don't know in Kali Yuga, we don't even know what is the way to get material happiness, right? Because most of the way that we will adopt is vikarma. As per Shastra, it will be considered, wrong, and we end up with papa and suffering. So, no guarantee I'm going to get any happiness in this material world if I become materially attached. In fact, it's a definite recipe for suffering. Right now, however we see this, just this world around us, which is just an illusion. Actually, you talked about that good example, 3 rupees going to a cinema. Prabhupada said this material world, this material life is just like a cinema. It is likened to a cinema. It's just likened to a cinema, right? Like, because what do? We take a ticket, go to the cinema, and then we are sitting in the cinema, we are feeling bad for the hero, we are feeling bad for the heroine, we are laughing when they're laughing, we are crying when they're crying, and we come out, then we just forget about it. That's it, right? But then just for a moment, if you think about the other side, right, which is what? Which is Krishna. And his association and being in connection with him. Just why being in connection with him? Just looking at his beautiful smiling face. What else is required? So when I see that and I say, okay, this so much of effort I'm putting to, get rid of all these, keep these sufferings at bay. Let me engage in in service of Krishna, whatever, and it's so difficult. And 1 second we just turn towards Krishna and look at his smiling, beautiful smiling face. It gives so much of joy, so much of happiness, so much of, and then I think, okay, isn't it so simple? Why is it so difficult? That when I can experience instant, bliss by looking at Krishna, what will it be for me to be with him? Right? So that going back to Godhead is the only source of happiness. Right? Of course, I mean, going back to Godhead or being here wherever Krishna wants, whatever it is, right? But doing for Krishna seems to be the only source of real happiness at all, really. So if we, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from, but I'm just saying that I think intelligence lies in hearing these instructions from Prabhupada, right? Because acharyas have seen Darshivihi, right? They are seers of truth. And when they are telling that there's nothing Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam, why shouldn't we, or what can we do? Okay, let's ask that question. What can I do to develop this taste, to kind of get attracted to Krishna? What can be done now? Actually, the answer is also in this paragraph only. It's just again hearing the instructions of Guru. Actually, see, this is why Prabhupada says that there are two, it's like two rails of a train, right? Like one is Krishna, the other is Guru. For some reason, assume saying that I don't have any love for Krishna, I don't have any attraction for Krishna, no problem. But if I have love, if I have attachment to Guru, that also is good. That is good enough, right? Because that attachment to Guru, that attraction to Guru, and just saying, like so many people, right? When Prabhupada was there, they used to just say, Swamiji is saying, I will do. That's it. Swamiji is saying, go to Japan, I'm ready. I have no idea. I don't know Japanese. I don't know anything. I don't have even 1 rupee in my pocket. Okay, I'm ready to go. So even if we have this kind of love towards our Guru, for whatever reason, I understand today, like not everybody would have, yeah, for whatever reason, however we got initiated from our Guru, or we will get initiated in the future, just we have to develop attachment to him, saying that, okay, I'm ready to do anything for him. That's it. End of story. Whether we have very, logically stepwise progressed, and then, okay, we've given up attachment to me. Okay, no, I'm not given up any attachment to material life. Doesn't matter. Can I just develop this, like crazy, serious attachment to my Guru? Either of these have to happen. And that's the whole idea of actually Diksha. The whole idea of Diksha is, always, disciples used to say, I don't know Krishna, Swamiji, I just know you. Prabhupada, whatever Prabhupada you are saying, that's all we know. We don't know Krishna. We know you and we love you. This was so many instances, so many devotees said this about Srila Prabhupada. Okay, even if suppose say we don't have any attachment to a guru, can we have attachment to Prabhupada? Even that is enough, right? Even that itself is independently powerful enough to take us back. So somehow we have to develop an attachment to, yeah, either to Krishna or to Srila Prabhupada or to Guru, or even sometimes maybe somebody else who is representing the Guru could be. Right? We might say, yes, I'm ready to do anything this devotee says. As long as that devotee is authorized, he's not trying to, take advantage of you, which happens a lot in ISKCON, unfortunately. But yeah, provided, we are not unfortunate that we got caught in such a trap, but, we really got somebody who's pure and who's sincere. And then if suppose we say, okay, I'm ready to do anything for him or her, that's also a recipe for success. But the whole idea is that to give up my own free will, independence, I have to give this up, and hold on to somebody. It has to be there, somebody in spiritual life. Maybe for, maybe one more option is maybe, Matajis can depend on their Prabhus, if their Prabhus are, qualified. So it could be anything. It could be just anything, right? But should be authentic, should be authorized, should be pure, should be sincere, and if we can hold on to them and just submit our life for their pleasure, that also, if done well, can give us perfection. Somehow all this has to be weighed against that, that illusion of material happiness, which actually doesn't really exist at all. I mean, we have to understand this. It doesn't exist. I mean, and we are experiencing it. We are experiencing material life, which is just more miseries than happiness, isn't it? So somehow we have to beg, we have to pray, for mercy, that we can actually understand this very clearly in our life, saying that there is really nothing else apart from pleasing Krishna. And then pleasing Krishna will mean pleasing Guru, like I said, the whole thing. What we don't do normally is we don't sit and introspect. Right? We should introspect. How can there be such a power packed, in 7 sentences? Just see this. Just read this. Just see every statement acted exactly, very seriously. No anxiety over attaining perfection. Our concern should be only how to execute the order. Spiritual master is an expert. So many things are there in just one paragraph. That's the reason we have to be very, very, we should be very attentive reading Prabhupada's books. Unfortunately, we don't give it that attention. So we don't get these instructions, but just one paragraph is the recipe for us to go back home, back to God. It's simple. Okay, I'll stop here if anybody has any questions, comments. Because we need to meditate on these 7 lines for the rest of the day, for the rest of life, whatever it takes.
Prabhuji, can I share an experience?
Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
My Guru Maharaj was not too well, and he was in Calcutta having a dialysis. And what the tension was prevailing along. And I told Uncle I need to go and see Guru Maharaj. So I and Devasima, my son, we we found out when Guru Maharaj would have his, which was the day for dialysis. And we planned it in such a way that when there is no dialysis, we'll see him there and head to Mayapur, and the second day come back and catch the morning afternoon flight on the third day.
Mhm.
So we went to the day we reached Calcutta. The previous day, Guru Maharaj was not well, so he was scheduled for a dialysis on that particular day.
Mhm.
So we headed straight to the hospital,
Yeah.
and Guru Maharaj was having his dialysis. We were allowed to take darshan of him. Prabhu, like when I saw him, I mean, he was as white as his eyes. He was pale, hardly anything. His dialysis was going on. The devotees were telling him, and he was on his laptop attending a meeting, a bureau meeting,
Yeah.
and the servants talking, and his servants, his head was turned onto the left side, and the servants were telling him, Prabhu, Guru Maharaj, please have a morsel of food. Guru Maharaj, please khaiye, please khaiye. In this time, I and Devasima entered, and they told him Sumantra and Devasima are here to see him. He very slowly turned his head, blessed us, and then they said, Ankul Prabhu's wife, Guru Maharaj must have not heard. I mean, there was this radical change on Guru Maharaj's face. He said, oh, the Rath Yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted this. Like, it was wonderful. I mean, Prabhu, how could a person, how could anybody, have his mind, in that pain with this and, immediately connect to the Rath Yatra, Bangalore Rath Yatra.
Yeah, so which is the great thing, right? So
And-
you are experiencing this,
Yeah.
right? And the point is that I mean, if he desires,
yeah,
if
could
he
I
desires,
just continue,
yeah,
Prabhu?
yeah.
So that day, okay, we had blessings. We went back. We went to Mayapur, and then on the third, third day, we said, "Come on, Deva, we'll again try having a darshan of Guru Maharaj. Then we'll go to there." So we left Mayapur very early, and we went to the hospital straight. Guru Maharaj, for some reason, was a little late. We kept waiting, and then the same thing. And when Guru Maharaj came, we followed him to the dialysis room. And when he was pricked, the pain, he said, Govinda. He just said, मैं तो पता नहीं क्या बोलती, Prabhu, that sight, this thing, when we came out, Devasima said, he said, Ma, what was it in Prabhupada? Like, Abhi bhi. I said, Deepak, it's not that we don't have gems of Guru. We have gems of Guru. I said, now with your class, I understand what it was. It was a perfect, unquestionable surrender. No questions asked. He execute, the Guru Maharaj ko bola gaya, Mayapur develop karo. 20 years back, 25 years, when I went to Mayapur, chapati nahi mil rahi. I can't eat chapati. I can't do this. How do I stay here? I mean, imagine he's not an Indian also. He's an American. Come to Mayapur in the jungles, no language, one banana with some yogurt, that too, one ripe banana, 3 of them, the curds there. Prabhu, it's not.
No.
It's.
I mean, yeah, we shouldn't call him. We
when
shouldn't
I
call
came
him an
back,
American. We
but
shouldn't
then
call him an American.
and which person at 19 and jungle में बैठ के bathroom करना, हमारे को अगर कहीं, if you go to Melkote also and you want to use the toilet, first thing we see, toilet clean है ना, I mean, it's not smelling, the rooms are neat na. I mean, I don't move out beyond my comfort zone. Like you said, move beyond comfort zone. Move. Like you just put your head, जैसे ध्रुव महाराज ने नारद मुनि जी के सामने अपना सिर डाल दिया, बोला अच्छा ये करना है. अगले ने ये नहीं सोचा मैं राजा का बेटा हूँ, I'm used to comfort, मैं जंगल में क्यों रहूं. If that comes, no Prabhu, वो अगर आएगा, the answer today to the question Devasima asked, what is it? It was not that I have not got a guru, like who's not, I don't know how Prabhupada ji का था, जब उन्होंने इतना अच्छा गुरु दे सकते हैं, gem, he must have been a Kohinoor. There is no questions asked about that. Prabhu, like, I mean, like, that thing has to come, which I lack. And you're talking about attachment, Prabhu, when Guru Maharaj used to come to Bangalore often, there was a different type of a love or a attachment, kuch bhi keh do, pride, garur, and slowly, वो भी ऐसे लगता है, हाँ, okay. And I realize, like, I mean, the little seva you do for your guru, they don't forget, and the the amount of reward they give you. I mean, you shouldn't be asking for it, but the material thing, like where he is placed as, I cannot tell you, Prabhu. And it's just when you were talking about it, it just went through. So I thought I would share it with you. I'm not shared it even with in the temple or something. Like
No,
I thought,
I mean,
like
see, this is the beauty,
like
right? See, this is the beauty about
like
Krishna consciousness, right? See, if we can see, see that, like true Vaishnava, right? Pure Vaishnava on the, like beyond the mundane liberated stage and in Krishna Prema, Gauranga Prema, and not being conscious about at all about out, surroundings. I mean, he's just teaching. And in fact, actually Acharyas say that when Guru goes through this, he does this pastime of being unwell. It's a pastime of unwell. We should never call a Vaishnava sick, right? It's offense. So when he's going through this pastime, the only reason he's going through the pastime, what is the only reason why a Vaishnava goes through this kind of a pastime? Anybody knows? Anybody knows?
Set us
To
in
teach disciples.
No.
to,
No.
s- to set
Think deeper.
to give
Think-
us an example how to.
No. Think deeper. Think deeper. Does anybody know what Ishvara Puri did to Madhavendra Puri at the, what was Madhavendra Puri's at the stay, situation in just before he unmanifested his pastimes or closed his
To
pastimes?
make us understand we are not this body.
No. Go deep. This we'll read from the books. This we'll read from the books. Why does a guru have to go through this pastime of suffering? Is to give disciples an opportunity to serve, which by just that mercy, when we are able to take the opportunity to serve, Ishvara Puri cleaned the stool and urine of Madhavendra Puri. And what he became? He became Guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that mercy came just because he was so surrendered to his Guru. So Guru goes through this just to give all his disciples, well-wishers, other devotees an opportunity to serve. And if we can just simply take this opportunity and to serve. Now, when the question of serve comes, first question comes is, what should I serve? How should I serve? That just comes back to again what the Guru desires. So if we can, when we go, to, take darshan of our Guru, actually the idea of darshan is not through the eyes. The idea of the darshan is through the ears, right? And if there is anything we can figure out that we can do for the Guru, either directly or indirectly, that will be the perfection of our life. That will take us to perfection. And that is the reason why Vaishnavas, such pure Vaishnavas, they go through this pastime of suffering. It's a pastime of suffering. It's just to give the disciples an opportunity to serve the Guru, and in serving that Guru in that, so-called physical state of existence, a disciple can achieve perfection. Right? So somehow we have to develop this attachment to Guru, and we should be ready to do whatever he wants. Even if we don't have this attraction to Krishna, by just becoming attracted to Guru in that manner and serving. See, it's not lip service. So we have to understand this. We cannot just keep doing lip service to Guru. We have to do real service. And if we can do real service, then we'll achieve perfection. And it's not about, I would actually, Mataji is saying, okay, you got that seriousness, renunciation. No, I've just seen reality. I've seen reality, and I don't like this, the reality of this material world, and I don't like what I saw. Right? Whether I'm qualified, whether I have desire, whether I have this, whether I have that. But I know that this place is not the place for me. Right? And when I see all these great Vaishnavas, just what Mataji just said, it just, my hair stood on end. I desire to reach that stage in this life once, sometime, by the mercy of these great Vaishnavas, where I can be completely oblivious about my body, about my surroundings, about this material existence, and simply think about Guru and Gauranga and their service. And think about this. I think it's a befitting, discussion that Sumantra Mataji brought in, that we can all think, saying that this is what our gurus expect us to reach. This is the stage our gurus expect us to reach, and where are we? Right? And if you can just beg for mercy from these great souls, then that give me a drop of that love you have for Srila Prabhupada, just give me a drop of that. I will drown in that drop, and I'll achieve perfection. Okay, I think I'll stop here. It's 9:10, but just somehow, that's why Prabhupada said, Yena Kena Prakarena, somehow they develop love for Krishna, develop love for Prabhupada, develop love for Guru, develop love for somebody who is, on that path, and by developing that attachment, that we can also follow them and just go with them, go back. Right? We keep looking at them and they're going, we are not seeing where they're going, we are not bothered where they're going, we are ready to follow wherever they are going, we are ready to follow them. And they just go into Goloka, and then they see behind and say, okay, come, you come all the way, be with me, help me serve Krishna. That's all we need to do. Okay, thank you so much for everybody joining. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta-koti Vaishnava.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for being such a good taskmaster. But unfortunately,
No, unfortunately, I don't like that position of being a taskmaster.
No,
But
Prabhu, like
I
you.
just feel
No,
that,
no, Prabhu.
it's
Like,
just something that is
I
absolutely
sometimes,
required for all of us,
I,
right?
I
And
sometimes,
somehow some of us maybe are a little more, experience of the reality, the miserable reality of this material world, and maybe some of us don't have. But what Prabhupada has been giving is only this. In fact, the other day when we were on the yatra, our devotee here, Guru Bhakta Prabhu, his son, he's just like 2 years old, I think. So he's also afraid of me. So I was saying, I don't know why. Just everybody seems to be afraid of me. But
no.
what am I doing? Am I scaring people away? Am I telling something that?
You're showing the mirror too clearly. No,
Right.
we think, so, and we don't like to see an ugly image of ourselves. So that is why
Mataji, I'm not able to hear you. I don't know. Is it me?
I said, Prabhu, you are showing us a very clear image, and nobody likes to see a ugly picture of ourselves, So
Yeah.
that it's
The
not
only
that we are scared of you. We are scared of our faults, and we try to hide away from you.
Yeah, the only thing I'll beg at all your lotus feet is don't get upset with me, right? Because then
No,
Krishna will throw me away.
No,
He will not even like,
it's
he
it's
will
the
not
other
even
way.
remotely look at me if devotees are upset. And I
They're
keep
not
thinking,
they're not
why is
upset.
it like?
It's not a question of being
I
upset.
mean,
It's good.
I don't know, whatever it is.
We are all fortunate. We've got somebody who has been sincerely guiding us. I mean, especially me, Prabhu. I don't know about the others. I mean, after so many years, at least I find I can really speak my heart out, and I find some sound advice. Otherwise, the only answer I always heard was, "Aapke liye kya, Mataji? You're too elevated." I mean, you don't understand. The other person also needs to learn. I need to learn.
Anyway, Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, one more
Can
request.
I-
Next time you're going for a day out, please let me know. I think
Yeah,
I would have
actually,
joined you. I would
yeah.
have joined you for the
Okay.
Melkotai this time.
So just maybe we're just planning right now. We're planning a short trip to Ahobilam, but in December,
Fine.
possibly 2 or 3 days.
Fine.
Actually, because this one is most of our devotees actually don't have I mean, the preaching areas that we are preaching, people don't have too much money to spend 15,000-20,000 for a yatra. So what we are trying to do is actually give them the experience with as less as possible. So, like a 1 day yatra, 700-800 rupees, maybe 2-3 days yatra. So we will possibly course of time, we'll see if we can. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're doing short yatra so that, it becomes feasible, financially feasible for people to join and they can experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So next time onwards,
Yes.
I'd put it in the group as well, in our
Yes,
English
Prabhu.
study group as well. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a request if you could,
good.
because I think I would have joined you on the Melkota Yatra,
Yeah,
maybe.
sure, Mataji.
Anyway, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay,
God
Hare
bless you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, got a little carried away today.
No, it's good. We should get carried away. That's the whole idea.
No, thinking about Guru Maharaj. Sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah. That's what we want to do. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.